I've come up with what I think is a novel response to Pascal's wager, which is an argument put forward by a French philosopher, Pascal. I think he was a kind of scientist, ironically, as to why it is rational to believe in God, or why it is kind of pragmatically reasonable to believe in God. He essentially said, you might as well believe in God, even though we can't really know, because the stakes are so high. If God doesn't exist, then okay, you might have not had the best life because you've conformed to a load of nonsense, but you won't go to hell and you won't go to heaven. If you do believe in God, if you don't believe in God and it turns out God does exist, you go to hell. If you believe in God and God does exist, you go to heaven. So it kind of just, as a gambler, makes sense. As a wager, this is what Pascal argues. But I think there's a kind of interesting argument that could be put forward against that, and because I'm Adam Godwin, I'm going to call it Godwin's Gambit. Yeah, so it's a kind of gamble in the other direction, if you will. And that is that in this this agnostic situation that Pascal admits, we don't really know anything about God. We don't know what he actually wants from us. And I put forward the possibility that when the scientist atheist dies, it's possible that God will reward him and let him into heaven precisely for not believing in God. And it's possible that God will punish people who just blindly went along with the Bible, because on the face of it, it just doesn't seem particularly admirable that people blindly go along with these sacred texts and have complete faith that they're literally true. It's kind of weak, right? The person is failing to be rational, failing to think for themselves. So it seems plausible that God might reward the rational and the reasonable. God might reward those who trust in their senses instead of abstract conceptual writings of long dead strangers. And, to kind of bolster this idea, biblical literalists and creationists already defend the idea of a deceptive trickster God who, for example, puts dinosaur bones in the earth to test our faith and test our ability to believe that the world is 6,000 to 10,000 years old, or whatever madness they fucking believe in. So they're already willing to grant us the possibility that God is this trickster who will create deceptions in the world in order to test us one way or the other. Now, this creates the possibility that the Bible itself was created by God, maybe through its very human authors, as a way to test our reasoning abilities and our commitment to the truth, right? To reasonable exploration and loyalty to the truth. So there you have it. Godwin's Gambit. Take your pick. You can either take Pascal's wager or Godwin's Gambit, because actually we don't really know what this potential God is like, or what he's going to reward or punish us for. And it seems to me just as plausible that he will reward the atheist Richard Dawkins, hardcore militant anti-religious anti-Bible person, as he will reward the blind Christian good little sheeple who believes word for word all of the patently contradictory things that are written in the Bible. And I have to say, I do just love the idea that when Richard Dawkins dies, he will meet God, and God will be like, well done for passing the test. You stuck to your reasoning skills that I gave you, and you trusted your empirical observations of the world, and therefore actually had faith in what was given to you, as opposed to clinging to all of the irrational nonsense that all those other people I've been sending to hell all day with a surprised Pikachu look face on their look on their face. Pikachu face, look on their face. Yeah, that's not a good sentence, is it? Well, on that note, and on that terrible sentence, I hope you found that idea interesting, and I hope you understood what I was getting at. Thank you so much for listening, and have a lovely day.